Okay, we have a test in here tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. The test is over sections 3.1 and 3.2, over finding the point of intersection via graphing, elimination, and substitution. Everybody clear on all that? Okay, great. Door, please. Now, I'm going to show you the test. That way you can see it and you know exactly what's on it. No, I'm not going to record it as I do it. Just making sure everybody was aware of that. That's the test. Do we all understand what is expected out of you for the test tomorrow? Now, here are the answers for the substitution problems, which were what? What was the assignment yesterday? 10 through 18 and 37 through 42. Not until I go over it with you. Now, any problems? I heard 14. 14 or 15? 14, 15, 37. 13 is just like 14 and 15. Did you even look to see if you got them right or wrong before you're yelling them out? Did you get 13 right? Then why do I need to do it? You're going to waste time on review. I don't care. You tell me. Yes, Brooke. 17? Okay. Now, I'm going to do 13, 14, 15, 17, and 37, and then review. Now, the 13, 14, and 15, how many people need 14? How many people need 15? How many people need 13? You don't. You do. Okay, you're the only one who needs 13. Let me review everything, and then I'll go back to 13. Deal? I don't know that I'm going to be able to get everything done if I do all the problems. That's why. 14. Here we go. X plus 3y equals 7 and 2x minus 4y equals 24. Now, what do? I have to do substitution. Notebooks are graded, by the way. I heard someone wanted their notebook back pretty bad. Okay, now what do? Why do I get that x by itself? Because it has a coefficient of 1, and if I choose something that does not have a coefficient of 1, what's going to be my outcome? Fractions. And do you all like fractions? No. So, I take equation 1, and I'm going to solve for x. So x plus 3y is equal to 7. I subtract 3y, and x is equal to negative 3y plus 7. Box it in. I do. I always put the variable before the constant. All right. Who's Matt, James? Okay, what do I do next? I put the expression that I have solved for x in for every x that we have, yes? So I take equation 2, which is 2x minus 4y is equal to 24. In every place you see an x, what am I plugging in for it? I plug in x. So I'm going to have 2 times negative 3y plus 7 is minus 4y is equal to 24. I multitask well. What are you talking about? Oh, you did? Oh, I really wish you'd tell. I just keep doing it from now on. Thanks. Yes. Now what do? Negative 6y plus 14 minus 4y is equal to 24. I thought today was the 16th or the 15th and not the 16th. Negative 6y, negative 4y is negative 10y, plus 14 is equal to 24. Now what? Good. Negative 10y is equal to 10. Divide by negative 10. Y is equal to negative 1. Do we get that? Yes or no? Now, what do I do with that value that I just got? I come over to my box, okay, and I plug in. So I'm going to have negative 3 times negative 1 plus 7. 3 plus 7 is 10. So I have now x and y. So what do I do? POI is 10, negative 1. Do we understand this problem, yes or no? This is number 14. For those of us who did not understand, we got it now? I must have, and I thought it was locked. 15 equals what? And come again? Good. Number 15. So now, I have to do this also by substitution, so what do? I am going to take equation 1. Why equation 1? Because I have a 1x there, yes? Okay. Now, I have equation 1, so I'm going to solve this for x. X plus 6y is equal to 2. I'm going to subtract 6y. X is equal to negative 6y plus 2. Agree? Box it in. Equation 2. What do? 5x plus 4y is equal to 36. In every place you see an x, what are you going to do? 5 times negative 6y plus 2 plus 4y is equal to 36. Distribute. Negative 30y plus 10 plus 4y is equal to 36. Negative 26y plus 10 is equal to 36. Add, subtract 10 from both sides. Negative 26y is equal to 26. And what does y equal? Excellent. Now what do? Go back to the box. Negative 6 times negative 1. 6 plus 2 gives you 8. So what is your POI? Do we get it, yes or no? Why not? Because I've been so focused on trying to make sure all of your grades are, like all of your homework's graded, that I put it on a paper to try to record later, and later hasn't come because all I keep doing is grading, grading, grading. Would you like your grades to be low, 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 low because you don't have points, 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 points? That's because you're not handing yours in. But I hate to say it, for people who are doing their homework, whenever you have a 12-point homework and a 15-point homework and a 15-point homework, it's very helpful because you're already up to 42 points worth of homework before you even have the test. That's helpful. Okay, now, number 37, or 17, I'm sorry. What's up with 17? It's not lined up. You're right, but Bree, what are you saying? It's already solved for y. So half the work is done for you. Right? Do we see that? Since it's already solved for y, what do you simply do? Plug and chug, baby. That's it. 3x minus 2x minus 1 is equal to negative 1. Do I have to have the parentheses? Yes, you must. Why do you have to have them? Because you have to distribute the negative to not just the 2x, but to the negative 1 also. 3x minus 2x plus 1 is equal to negative 1. What is that? When I put in the negative 2 in for the x where? I'm going to go put it back in right up here. Because what am I wanting? You're wanting the y value, right? Since this is already solved for y, all I have to do is do my calculational work. So this is going to be 2 times negative 2 minus 1, which is negative 4 minus 1, which gives you negative 5. And that's your y value. Do you see that, Francis? You good? So what's my POI? We get it? How many of you missed 0 on last night's homework? How many did it? Who missed 0? 1? 2? 3? 4? Not voting? 37. For the record, you all voted when you didn't vote. Just saying. So, what do I do? This, you got to choose the method. I was not requiring you to do substitution or elimination. You get to choose. So which madness would you like to choose? Why elimination, Miranda? Why is it easier? Why, Alex? Because the coefficients on your variables, they're not 1, people. Do you see a 1 on any of those highlighted areas? No. Since they're not 1s, that means you're going to have to divide by one of those highlighted numbers, and you're going to have a fraction. Does anybody in here like fractions? Nope. So, therefore, it is in your best interest to go ahead and do this whole problem by elimination. So if you're doing it by elimination, your brain has to first line up your lovely little variables. Are they lined up? X's, Y's, equals, and numbers. They're lined up. Next is what question you're going to ask yourself next. What is the LCM of your X? Plus or minus 6. What's your LCM of your Y's? Which one would you prefer to use? Now, are you all listening to me? When I say my LCM is plus and minus 6, does that mean I multiply each equation by positive 6 and then the other equation by negative 6? No. What do I do, Tasha? Absolutely. You look at the coefficients of the x, and you ask yourself, what do I have to multiply 2x by to get either a positive 6x or a negative 6x? I have to multiply the top equation by a 3. Now, if the top equation, what's that going to give me? A positive 6x. So I have to get a negative 6x on the bottom equation. So what do I multiply it by? Negative 2. So what am I going to do now? There'll be no substituting. Distribute. That's what I'm saying. 6x minus 9y is equal to negative 3. And negative 6x minus 8y is equal to negative 16. Talk to me. What do I do now? You add straight down. These are gone. Negative 17y is equal to negative 19. Now what? Divide each side by negative 17, which to attach the variable. 19 over 17 is your answer. Is it ugly? That's your y coordinate of your answer. It's ugly, but so what? We all can't be pretty all the time. Do we all understand that? Yes? Now, I found my y, so what do I do next? How in the world do I get my x? Plug it into what? I need to take one of my equations, my original one. So I'm going to go ahead and take my top equation. Doesn't matter, they're both equally nasty on this. And I'm just going to plug and chug. So every place I see a y, I plug in 19 over 17. So 2x minus 3 times 19 over 17 is equal to negative 1. Now, put that 3 over 1. Marry the tops and marry the bottoms. What's that going to give you? How about 57 over 17? Something has a number. Now what? Pretty or ugly? Ugly. So how do I make it look pretty? You are going to multiply every single thing by 17, right? So this is going to give me 34x minus 57 is equal to negative 17. Yes? Solve it for y, or for x. Whenever you add 57, you get 34x is equal to 40. Divide by 34, and x is going to be equal to 20 over 17. How did we get 20 over 17? You had to reduce it, right? They're both even. So now we have x and we have y, so what's my POI? Do we get it, yes or no? We good? Okay, that's 37. Would you ever want to do this problem with substitution? In the event that you so chose to do it by substitution, this is how nasty ugly it gets. That gives me the heebie-jeebies. Okay, and as much fun as I like with fractions and all that myself, it's just not logical to do this problem with substitution when you got to deal with all that junk. So you really want to try to stick to linear combination because it does flow better doing linear combination. Do we all understand that? Yes or no? 20 over 17, 19 over 17. Okay. Now, that is section 3-2. How far up? Okay. This is section 3-2, substitution and linear combination. Are we good? Do we feel like we understand it? Okay. Then it's your responsibility, since you have all the answers, that tonight, since you have no homework, that you sit and you rework the problem so that you are ready for the test tomorrow. Huh? Yeah. 100. Every test I give is anywhere between 60 to 100 points. About 10 points each. Cha-ching, bada bing. Now, do we all understand substitution? Do we understand substitution? Do we understand elimination? Now, let's go back to 3-1. This is one of your homework questions from section 3-1. And the directions are, to find the point of intersection out there and tell me if it's independent, dependent, or consistent. So what do I do? You have to do it graphically. So what does that mean? You have to find the slope and find the b-value. So you're going to take and separate each one of these. Yes? So if you solve each one of these for y, what are you going to get out of it? The slope and what else? The y-intercept. So if I take equation 1 here and I solve this thing for y, what do? You add x to both sides. 3y is equal to x plus 6. Now what? Divide each term by 3. Why do we divide each term by 3 on this, but on substitution we divide each side by a number? Whenever you are graphing, your whole goal is to get it into mx plus b, which means you're trying to find the slope and you're trying to find the y-intercept. Do we understand that? Which is why you need 2 simplified answers. Whenever you are trying to use substitution, you need an expression to be able to plug in, which is why you want it to be a smaller number. Do we get that, yes or no? Okay, so y is going to equal 1/3 x plus 2 here. So what's my slope? 1/3. What does that mean graphically? I'm sorry? Up 1 and to the right 3. And what is my b value? The 0.02 is my y-intercept. Yes? Now what do? I come right over to my graph, and I graph that information. So I start at the 0.02. I go up 1 unit and to the right 3, up 1 to the right 3, up 1 to the right 3, up 1 to the right 3. Why did I keep doing that so many times? The more points you do using your slope, the more points you might have, I should say, the easier it is to find the point in common. Does that make sense? Okay? So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to graph these, connect them. There's my first line. My second line, what do? Solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 2x. Negative y is equal to negative 2x plus 8. Now what? Divide each term by negative 1. Y is equal to 2x minus 8. What's my slope? 2 over 1. So what does that mean graphically? Up 2 to the right 1. And what is my y-intercept? 0, negative 8. Yes? Okay. So now I'm going to go back to my graph. And I'm going to plot the point 0, negative 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm going to go up 2 units to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1, and I keep doing that until what? Bam! I hit my intersection point. It is a point on both of them already. I can see it. I connect them. And I can see that this point right here is going to be my POI. So what is that point? It is going to be the point 6,4. Do we get that, yes or no? Okay, so now we found our POI. So we found our slope, our y-intercept, we graphed them, we found our intersection point. Now I need to find the last question, which is it independent, dependent, or inconsistent? You're guessing. I know you're guessing because you're wrong. What do those 3 mean? Give me an example of inconsistent. Inconsistent means they're parallel lines and they never touch. I'm pretty sure they touch. If they're parallel lines and that means they're inconsistent, what do we know about their slopes? Same slope. What about their y-intercepts? Different y-intercepts. Do we see that? Now, if you look at our slope information, what do you know about our slopes immediately? They're different. What does that mean whenever your slopes are different? They're going to cross some point out in space. And whenever lines cross, that's what we call consistent. When they cross, they're consistent, and there's 2 types that you can have, independent or dependent. Now, if they cross at one point, independent. If they cross infinitely many points, like this is right here, what is that? It's dependent because they're exactly the same equation. Yes? Okay. So back to this. What is this again? This is an independent system because it crosses at 1 point. Do we understand it? Yes or no? Are you ready for the test tomorrow? Now, are you listening to me? Do not come to my class without your book, your notes, and all of your homework. Your book. I know you've not brought yours ever. However, bring your book and your notes and everything tomorrow because I may or may not allow you to help yourself. Any questions? I started 3-1 Monday, 3-2 Friday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'd like you to, yeah. If your homework is 100% done and it's correct and you do not need to correct it, put it in the bin. If you would like to take it home to correct it and then hand it in tomorrow, you may also do that. Any questions? Great.